So let's get on with the tea, guys. Welcome back. All right, so all news, no bullshit. I was speaking to one of my friends who works for Compass last night, and we had a very nice discussion about where we thought the market was going. And more importantly, we had a discussion in regards to Zillow. Um, I'm going to tell you essentially what I told him. I said, I understand that everybody, as far as realtors are concerned, are extremely happy that Zillow is starting to pull out of doing the iBuying. However, Zillow is basically filing Chapter 11 in my sense. I mean, this is just a restructuring. They're not going away anytime soon. So Zillow may have lost this battle, but definitely there's still a war on homes with Zillow, real estate agents, and consumers. So I wanted to give you a little bit more information on what happened. So basically, it started with TikTok. And if you guys are not keen to how social media really is actually starting to drive economies, then you haven't been paying attention. Tesla and Elon Musk is a very, very specific and great comparison because when Elon tweets something, social media, it causes stock prices to fluctuate in Tesla and in other EV markets. So it's very important that we pay attention to what social media is kind of putting out because it's very important. People don't get their standard news by turning on channel 7 at 5 o'clock anymore. People are scrolling through the internet late at night like zombies, and that's how they're getting their information. Okay, it's just what it is. So TikTok was a huge thing where basically folks on TikTok alleged that Zillow was manipulating housing prices upwards by using the market presence and by using their market presence and of course their Zestimates. But this was at the expense of homeowners. Essentially, this was at their expense. So Zillow Zestimates, as they said, are optimistic. They're not prices that you can go to the bank on. They're just what we would think the properties would sell for. But the issue with Zillow is that when you look at pricing property, you can't just look at raw data. That just doesn't work. Raw data is going to tell you some of the story, but it's not going to tell you all of the story. Things like, has the property been upgraded? Is there unpermitted structures on the property? Where is the property located? Is there commercial units behind the property? All those things play a factor in valuations. And those are the things that appraisers, who actually should be the ones that are telling us, things about value, this is what they tell us when we do appraisal appointments. Okay, Zillow does not go that far deep into getting that information on their Zestimates. They basically look at house A sold for this, and house B sold for this, and house C sold for this. So collectively, let's do an average and just put this number out and call it a Zestimate. But that is just not how real estate works. There's been a lot of lawsuits in regards to Zestimates being posted online, with property owners saying, you're devaluing my property to the public by posting this Zestimate, and they're absolutely right. There was a case in Malibu, I want to say, a couple of months ago, where the homeowner sued Zillow for posting a Zestimate of his property, and his property was like, multi-million dollar property. And unfortunately, he did lose that lawsuit, but it was kind of what it was signaling of what was to come as far as homeowners going after Zillow. It's really nice and fine and cute and fun when Zillow values your property a little bit higher, but then what does that say to the buyers? It might turn them off. And the thing is, you want to get buyers into the property so that they can actually see it for themselves. Pictures are one thing, being in there and seeing it is a whole nother story. So I'm going to go back to real estate 101. This is what I tell my sellers all the time. The price offered for a property is an invitation. Okay, it's not just the price you're going to close at. It is an invitation to start a negotiation in regards to the property. Sometimes it hits right on the head, sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher. It just depends. So there was a boycott that was forming, and Zillow stock prices actually also took a big hit recently. And a lot of people speculated that it might be signaling of a real estate bubble that was forming because of this. Um, I don't know. Twitter and TikTok users are raging against Zillow as it looks to sell 7,000 of its properties for 2.8 billion following the failure of a much vaunted business. Last week, Zillow Incorporated was getting ranked by thousands of angry digital protesters, some even welding place cards with a simple message: don't buy Zillow homes. Okay, so that's a quote. That's not me saying that. Um, you can buy Zillow homes if you want to. That's up to you. So, like I said, Zillow is in a war, but Zillow is not done yet. They might be pulling back a little bit from the market, but Zillow is not going anywhere. Like I said, I believe it's much like a Chapter 11 bankruptcy where they're essentially just restructuring and getting together what they need to kind of move forward because they are indeed a real estate company. They're not just going to close. They just got to figure it out. I think the problem is that they hit a nerve with some very, very angry buyers, right? Because sellers are just like, whatever. But sellers, you need buyers. So we have to all work together. I mean, including with Zillow. You know, if Zillow worked with more agents, it would be great. Okay, so there's a lot going on with Zillow. I'm definitely keeping an eye on the story. I've been speaking about it, reading about it, and also wanting to report back of what I see and what I think they're doing. I believe they cut something like 24% of their workforce, got rid of them. So it's very signaling, but I don't know if Zillow is going to continue being in the home flipping industry. Maybe they start to make money in another way. Who knows? But they do have a lot of inventory, and they do need to sell it. So that could be good in the spring. So we will probably see more inventory come on the market because typically, you know, homes tend to sell in the spring and the summer anyway. But now with Zillow kind of backing out a little bit, I think the first quarter of 2022 is going to be extremely telling. March is going to be where we really find out what is going on with the housing market. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. Some interesting stuff.